proprietary data is really the crown jewel you have as a company that protects you also from competition and gives you a moat. So GenAI tools are really great in retrieving information, for example. So if you have good proprietary data, GenAI can help you make that accessible to everybody in your company. Also, if you can give it your proprietary data, it'll generate much more relevant output for you because it knows exactly what you want. So if you have a special style of writing or a way you approach projects, it's going to absorb this and it's going to be much more valuable to you. So you should have it in order. And if you don't have it in order, GenAI can also be a risk for your proprietary data because many of the GenAI tools that we now use, like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, these are from the companies which are known to grab quite a lot of data. And it's also happening now. Right now, there's a large gold rush happening. Many companies get access to your data. And so you have to be very mindful. If you implement a GenAI tool, who do you give access to your data to? Because maybe you give away your most valuable assets right now. And you also have to train your people to be aware of that. And so treat your proprietary data with enough caution when you deal with GenAI. If you get your data foundations right, you can do a lot of things with that data. So we mentioned before that in GenAI, for example, you can give your data to these models to generate more relevant output, for example, but you can also use them in different ways. So AI is much wider than GenAI. And if you want to build your own models, for example, which is now also easier and cheaper than ever due to technological progress, you need great data to actually do it. And so imagine if you're a pharmaceutical or a chemical company and you have a lot of clinical data or chemistry data or information about your processes, you can mine these data with the right models and the tools. And so if you have it in order, you can build really unique assets that only you have. AI is in the mind of most leaders nowadays a technological question, but it gets clearer and clearer that humans play most relevant part in it because most of the AI tools are used by humans. And so the true value of any AI tool is only realized by interacting with humans. So you need to upskill your people in order to get the maximum out of the tools you have, but you also need to educate your people how to handle them responsibly. So not to get any more risks in, how to make sure you get the most out of it. And last but not least, you also get a lot of valuable feedback from your people when you actually interact with them, you listen to them, you identify their needs, you realize how do you need to further develop the AI tools so you can get the most out of it for your company. We work with clients from various different industries, mainly in pharma and chemicals. And what we see how people adopt tool, it's really simple. Like they adopt them based on their needs. And if we do not design with their needs in mind, they're not going to adopt them. So you should always start with a very specific need that a person has to make sure that you can actually improve the process they're doing now and that they can make more out of it. That being said, in large companies, it's not only about the needs. Sometimes we also have to help people get over this first hump where they might not want to try something new because you have an established way of doing things. And so you're not super eager to try something new. And this is also our role to create a space where we can just endure this little bit of stress at the first time to give it a go, see whether it can actually work, and then catch for the first time fire, where we have enough people inside of a company actually liking it, working on it, and then getting really to roll it out. I think that the most important one is start with an actual need, not with the technology. This is a very important truth in all innovation management. If you want to do something new, never start with the solution, start really with a need. So that's the first thing. Do not do something with AI just because you want to do something with AI. Think about which problems is best suited for AI and then see whether there's a fit. That being said, I think it's also super important that you have a North Star. So don't just try to start doing things everywhere. So you have to have a rough vision of where you want to go as a company. So this can be, for example, do you want to increase revenues? Do you want to decrease costs? Do you want to have new business models? These very large questions where you have to know what does success actually look like. Do you want to be a data leader, an AI leader in your industry, or do you want to cover yourself against risk It's a very different mindset depending on what you do. So going into it, I don't think you have to stay on top of everything, because in AI, there's so many things changing every day. Don't have this mindset that you have to understand everything and be on top all the time. But the right mindset is to be open and curious, because things are constantly changing. Don't think about it as a destination that, you mastered AI and now it's done, but you should be curious about what's possible next week and what new tool is out and how can you actually scale it. We see companies with a mindset like that succeeding much better.